Good evening, whatever.
Close enough.
Hi.
Evening, Sarah.
This thing fell in my car.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, and welcome to this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Committee of the Town of Yarmouth, which is being held in accordance with Chapter 470 of the Acts of 1973 as amended at 7:15 p.m. on Monday, June 23rd, 2025, at the Yarmouth Town Hall Hearing Room located at 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. Moreover, pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, considering certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting is being run in hybrid mode, meaning live participation, and in all likelihood, we will have some online via Zoom participation as well. 11 new applications for certificates of appropriateness will be heard this evening in the order listed on the agenda. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it is the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway Historic District. Our office administrator, Lisa Sherman, will be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this process. And as I am wont to say at these meetings when I introduce, before I introduce the applications, the process here is when I call your application, if present, come to the table in front of me, speak into the microphones, identify yourself or yourselves, and present your application without interruption from members of this committee or the public. After which I will ask the committee for comments and/or questions, and following that, I will ask members of the public, and in particular abutters, if present, to ask questions or make comments. And if you are here, if you would stand at the podium to my front left, speak into the microphone, likewise identify yourself, where you live, and state your piece. So having said all of that, I will present the first, or ask for the first item on the agenda, which is 25-A076. It's to install a fence at 144 Eileen Street. Roberta and James Zaremski are the owners, and do we have either Roberta or James present?
Yes, we're on the Zillow,
The Zoom.
the Zoom.
Great.
Sorry.
Okay. So tell us your application.
We put in an application to install a fence between us and our neighbor. They already have a pre-existing that goes between our two backyards. We're just going to add a few sections of fencing. It'll be 6 feet between the houses, but when you get to the front of the house, it drops down to 4 feet, and I believe there's maybe 2, maybe 3 sections.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
So I noticed you've supplied us with a site plan. We haven't drawn the fence in on the site plan. So could you elaborate a little bit about that?
I thought I had an arrow marked. It's, if you look at our home, it would be on the left-hand side between us and the neighbor.
I don't have that.
That's
on mine.
And
in red.
again, extending from the pre-existing fence that's there, and unfortunately, there's a lot of shrubbery. But it would come out to the end of both houses, or my house, and then it would go drop down to the 4 feet. And I believe it really is only 2 sections. I don't have the paperwork in front of me.
Okay, and it dead ends at the back of your back corner of your lot? The fence?
The existing fence does. The fence that we want to put up is only going to extend a little bit. You won't, before, and then it will just be grass and down to the street.
Okay. By the way, I apologize. I do see this now on one of the site plans in our packet. Missed that earlier. Any questions or comments for from the committee on this application?
So this fence that is showing here is the one that's between your houses? In the photograph?
I think that was a superimposed sample fence of what
Okay.
it's going to look
All
like.
right. I just was wondering if it was existing, you were going to take off the last part and put that as the front part of the new part, but since it's just a
No.
prototype,
Yeah,
that's
just a
fine.
picture of what we're
Okay.
buying, that's all.
That's good. Thank you.
Other questions or comments from the committee?
I'm curious how far beyond the front facade of the house it will extend toward the street. Do you know how
I
many
believe
feet?
it's two sections that you're gonna see from the front of the house, because it goes out, if you look at the house, there's a big shrubbery, and it's gonna stop right there. So if you're looking at the front of the house and there's a garden on the left, there's a big shrub, and then it goes down towards the street. So it should be about 8 feet out from the house, I believe.
Thank you.
How long are those? There are two sections? Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Any questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve application 25-A076.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So congratulations
Thank
and
you.
good luck
Thank
with
you
it.
so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We should get honorary voice vote. What?
The next item on the agenda is 25-A077. It's to replace 18 windows at 7 Whippoorwill Lane. Robert Moran is the owner. Southern New England Windows is the agent.
Hello.
All right. Am I sitting in the right spot? Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Fine.
My name is Kevin Damaris. I work for Renewal by Anderson of Southern New England. We are looking to replace the vast majority of the windows in the home. Majority of the windows are double hung and cottage style double hung windows. We are going to replace in kind essentially what's there. If there's a cottage style window, we're going to replace it with a cottage style, match the existing grid pattern that's there. The only one that's a slightly different variant of what you see there is the triple casement window over the kitchen sink. What he is looking to do there is get away from the diamond grids. He didn't like that look. He wanted to have grids in both sash 1 and 3 and leave it blank in the center of the window to give a little bit more of a picture view out the center of the window because he has a gorgeous view. Outside of that, it's a pretty straightforward install. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, Dewey, comments or questions from the...
The cottage style, is that the 6/9 window?
Yes, that's the,
Why? Why would it be 6/9 and not just 6/6?
so 6/9, because a cottage-style window is an unequal ratio window.
Right. You don't make the windows to order, you can't have a 6/6 in that size opening, is that what you're saying?
Well, no, of course, we make them to order, but what's currently in the home is that exact grid pattern.
Oh, I see, so you're trying to retain that.
If we did a 6/6 in each, it would actually be an unequal grid pattern. It wouldn't look symmetrical, because it's not an equal ratio window. Would you like to see a picture of it?
So I
I
see
know
12
just what
over
you said.
12.
Yeah, they're 12/12 now,
Yes.
so it's not 6/9 now.
Well,
Going to 6/9.
Well, what's currently there is a 12/12. Let me see exactly what we have.
I thought they were proposing 6/6.
Let's speak one at a time, so Sarah has the floor.
Oh, I think, yes, I'm looking at the policy. This one here?
Yeah, that's the one he's proposing, but he's saying he had, that's what they have, and they have 12 over 12 right now.
But the 12/12, if I'm correct, are being replaced with 6/6, is that correct?
That is correct.
I'm just wondering why
I sold this job about a month and a half ago, so I was a
I'm just
little detached
wondering
from
why
it.
this one has, probably not even on the street.
I have them.
I'm just saying, I was wondering why, that's all.
Well, the why is because the top sash is smaller than the bottom
It
sash.
doesn't have to be.
Well, that's what's in the house.
All right, okay.
So it looks from the pictures that they currently have 12, in pictures that were presented with the application, it looks like they have equal 12/12s, equal, not 6/9s.
You're absolutely right. I misspoke about that. We are keeping grids in the window. We are simplifying the grid pattern by one square, essentially, on each.
6/6.
Correct. So one less high, one less tall.
The windows will be the same size.
Correct.
Other questions or comments from the committee?
I did notice that there were other homes on the street with a 6/6 pattern, so it would be not inconsistent with the neighborhood.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve item 25-A077.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So if you'll be good enough to come up and sign this document, which simply signifies if you're going to make any changes, you'll let us know. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Good night.
Go out this way.
Sure.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A078. It's to replace the sunroom roof at 236 Center Street. Larry and Kathy Jameson are the owners. David Cox, Inc. is the agent.
I'm Larry Jameson. I guess my wife Kathy doesn't want to join me.
Is that it? You're done?
Oh, I don't think so.
All right, tell
I'm
us about the
applying-
application.
We are applying to re-roof our sunroom with asphalt shingle instead of the ancient cedar shake that's there. And the sunroom faces west towards the pool fence and the pool. And I've submitted photos to show that the only people that will see this roof are guests and trespassers.
True.
And the reason for, we would have chosen cedar, but for the fact that Cotuit Solar will not install on shake. They will only install on asphalt or a good foundation. So we will be subsequently, if this is approved, we will be re-roofing so that we can pursue application for some new solar panels.
Which we don't see from the street at all,
Right.
if I'm correct, yeah.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee? Really can't see this from Center Street.
No.
Questions or comments from the abutters, or other interested members of the
No
public?
one asked us if we have questions.
I thought I did already.
Well, you were talking, so I didn't have a chance to get a word in edgewise.
You want to talk, Cindy?
Yes, please.
Do.
Thank you. Please. I'm just curious, I know you said that the roof needs replacing. I'm assuming the rest of the house is sort of in similar condition?
Oh, that's a good question. Oddly, no.
Well, I was curious if you're going to replace this one roof with asphalt, what you would do with the rest of the house in the future.
Oh, well, the rest of we would normally choose shake.
Right.
But the shake roof over the garage was replaced before we bought. But we put that in the contract that looked really weathered. For some reason, this roof, perhaps because it's flatter than any other section, but this started with what we assumed was a chimney leak, maybe chimney flashing, and then the roofer disclosed that the sunroom roof has two pitches, one shallow, one a little steeper towards the ridge, and all of that lead flashing was cracked. And that, and you replace it. One thing led to another, and it dawned on me looking at that, oh, well, that would be a good place for solar panels too. And then we discovered that, no, we don't, they won't do it on shake. So we're spending a lot of money to have the roof replaced so we can cover it.
Well, I was just
But
curious
the
what your plan was.
flashing needs
yeah,
replacing.
what your plan was for the rest of the roof in the future when that needs to be replaced. Would you convert the whole thing to
Oh, no.
Certainty?
No, we would.
You'd keep it at cedar and then just have that one roof and asphalt to accommodate the solar panels?
I'll think carefully before answering, but I can't imagine any reason for. No, there's no reason.
I'm not going to
we would-
hold you to it. I mean,
No,
but I was
there's
curious
no
what your
reason to do
thoughts
any
were.
other section other than
Okay.
shingle,
I was
cedar.
just curious since this is an early house.
This is not a lead into anything.
Right.
else, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And we knew we would never pursue putting panels on the south-facing roof, which would be wonderful. Cotuit Solar asked for that, and we said, no.
Okay.
That faces the street.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve. Item 25-A078.
Second,
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So if you'll be kind enough to sign this document in case you change your mind about any aspect of the application, you'll let us know. Right above my signature. Very good.
Nice private spot you have there. Nice private spot you have there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How long have you been there?
Oh, nice. Nice.
I was going to say this before, I didn't want to sound ingratiating, but thank you all for your time.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Doing this.
You never sound ingratiating, trust me.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A079. It's to install a fence and 2 retaining walls at 46 Summer Street. Robert McNamee Trust is the owner, and E.B. Norris and Son, Inc. is the agent.
Good evening. I'm Craig Ashworth. I'm representing E.B. Norris, and E.B. Norris is representing Robert McNamee Trust, a realty trust. And I believe our package calls out the fence line between the church parking lot, and we're trying to get some privacy for the owner. And samples of stone walls that are going to replace an existing stone wall moved a little further back from the street. There are a couple of images in there of the nature and feel and fit of the stone that we're proposing, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the committee?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding the fence location, is it right up, it looks, if it's right where your stakes are, it's right up against the church's parking lot?
It is,
Is there any reason not to push it back so it's not totally visible behind the line of trees where you've got that path?
well, then I'm just suspecting that the church parking lot is empty most of the year.
It is.
The client is in the home most of the year, and rather than looking at a fence, and they do own the property, I believe that it would be nicer if they could enjoy their plantings as opposed to the fence. It's a not a bad-looking fence. I think weathered down, it will look pretty good.
I was thinking about the viewpoint of the neighbors, because obviously if there aren't cars in the parking lot, it's quite visible. I would like to see it pushed back into the property a little bit. That's my opinion.
Is your current proposal to be right on the property line or setback?
Well, I think, with respect to maintaining the integrity of the plantings, it's either all or none. The plantings are on the property as existing, and rather than take down plantings, to run down the middle. And then the question becomes who's going to maintain it and maintain the plantings and trim the plantings if they're on the other side of the fence.
Sure, makes sense, but the question is, the proposed location is right on the property line, or is it set back from the property line?
Well, it would be hopefully to avoid disturbing any of the plants on the church side of the parking lot.
Okay, I'm still confused, sorry.
When I went back to look today,
Yep.
the stakes seemed to be right at the edge of the parking lot, and I didn't see any particular plantings. Am I wrong? There just seemed to be a lot of shrubs and trees that didn't look like they were necessarily being taken care of. Am I misunderstanding where the fence is going?
Well, this is a new owner of the
Yeah.
property. It's a new request for this particular structure. I don't believe I'm in a position to amend the client's wishes to have it. They had the property line staked, and they're requesting to have it, so that they can, I think, maintain their landscaping. There will be extensive landscaping, I know very well, but I can't,
None of which is on the church side of the fence because it's all paved, correct?
it's, the church has paved right up to their
Yeah.
property line, which is the client's property line. They haven't given us an alternate.
So, generally, we like to see a relief for the final panel of fence as it, the one closest to Summer Street, a slope down to 4 feet. Is that what you're
I
contemplating
think that's a
doing?
reasonable request because I think, this is about maintaining privacy from a parking lot that is, in the summer, I'm sure, quite busy on weekends. We are maintaining the holly tree that is there. It is probably a 14 to 15-foot holly tree, and hopefully maintaining all of the plantings.
So you're fine with the final panel?
I will propose that. I'm sure that that's a reasonable request. It's in an area where I don't think it would do
How
any
close
harm.
does this last panel come to Summer Street?
My question.
Well, I would imagine it would, I would guess probably 15, 20 feet from the street because there's a substantial holly tree there. It's quite large.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on the application.
I move to approve 25-079.
Seconded.
Okay, I have a question regarding the motion. Is it clear that the final panel will slope down to 4 feet? Or
Right.
Does that have to be?
Well, I also want it to be clear about where the fence ends. Does it end 20 feet before the street or 15? Because typically we approve fences up to the front facade of the house. So the house is significantly set back more than 20 feet. So it'd be, I think, important to know how far out or how far back from Summer Street the fence ends.
Well, having not measured it exactly, it would be conjecture on my part to tell you it's 20 feet or 30 feet. It is substantially back from the road.
Okay.
I appreciate your perspective and your
I think we would
preferences.
accept an approximation.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
have to be exact.
Yeah, I think the issue is more the parking lot and I think the church is set back quite a ways. I would say that is the message that I will project, and if that is a condition of your approval, and if it is not approvable on their end, we would come back to you if it is any different.
So for the purposes of clarity and to make sure we're all on the same page, should we move this with an amendment specifying those
It needs to be
details?
clear what we're approving.
I have a question. It looks like the house it's hard for me to read the scale because it's so tiny, but it looks like that scale in the lower right-hand corner is 40 feet? I can't quite read it, but.
May I come up?
Sure. And so it looks like the house is at least 80 feet from the road, 40 feet?
I'd say 40 feet.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of knowing that here's the scale. It's stapled together. So here's the scale, 40. That's 40, right?
That's about, yep.
So it's my finger, so it's 1, 2, oops.
Okay, we're up in this
1,
corner here.
2, So the house looks like it's about 80 feet back from the actual street line, just so, in case you want to know, when I use my finger.
Okay.
1, 2, 2.5, would you say? Which is 80 feet. I mean, 100 feet, actually. Just so you know, the house is
I
70.
mean, I can't,
You know, been there.
Yeah. So it's pretty far back. So we're saying that the fence will come 60 feet forward or 70 feet forward of the front of the house. That's all. Whoops. I've done that so many times when I'm on that side.
Can I steal a sticky note?
Yeah.
I need to make a scale.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
30-foot setback is shown on the plan.
Oh, okay. Is
Yeah,
that?
there's your 30. So
Okay.
we're about 45 feet
Okay,
back.
45 feet. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Scale's a little off, I think, but, yeah, that's weird, because that says 40, right?
Well, here's the property.
Oh, right.
That's
Well, I
the-
was
yeah.
thinking about the street, from the street, 10
You're looking
feet.
at Edge of Road.
Yeah,
Right.
edge of road's another 10 feet, so it's about 50 or 60 feet back. That's all I'm saying, so you're asking the question of how much forward of the house
This
is
holly
the fence
tree,
coming?
if it's any help, is in this vicinity.
Yeah.
It's back a ways.
Yeah, it's back 10 feet from the
No,
road.
it's, yeah, I'd say it's, I'd have to tell you, it's at least 20 feet to the edge of the holly
Okay,
tree.
all right. Okay. Well,
And there's a
then-
number of very large-scale plantings.
Yes, I saw, yep. Okay, thank you.
So do we feel we're clear on what we're voting on?
Yes, with the amendment that it's approximately 30 feet from the street and it's
you care
it's
to write
sloping
this
down.
Thank you.
So moved as
Okay,
amended.
so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval of the application as amended signify by saying aye.
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 I,
You're abstaining, or you?
said
No, I'm saying nay. You asked me who approved of it, so I'm waiting. I'm going to say nay.
You're what?
You just said who approves the application, and
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that part to be over.
You want to see the amendment first? Is that what you're saying?
I'd like to see the fence on the other side of the trees that are planted.
So
there.
how are you voting, Sarah?
Nay.
Nay, okay.
I was just
I didn't
waiting
under-
for you
I
to-
didn't understand your
Yeah.
vote. Okay.
I was just waiting for the vote to be over, so I could say nay. I was waiting my turn, I thought.
Okay, great, thank you. So- So while we're doing this, if you would sign this, in case you want to make any changes. Okay.
house is really,
It's going to be,
showplace.
it's going to be a showpiece.
We didn't even talk about the retaining wall, but I like that too. We didn't even talk about the retaining wall, but that was nice.
I'm here.
So Bob, do I sign
You don't
it?
sign it.
Okay.
Okay. The next application is,
Who's sitting there still?
Oh.
Thanks
next
a lot.
application is 25-AO80. It's to paint the front of the house at 2 Firestone Drive. Marcus and Susan Buckley are the owners.
Good evening. Thank you for taking the time to hear this application. It's very simple.
Are you Marcus, by the way?
I'm sorry.
Okay,
My name
thank
is
you.
Marcus Buckley. I am the co-owner of the house at 2 Firestone Drive in Yarmouthport. If you have driven by the property, you will note that it's the only house on the street. I frequently joke that I want to put a gate in front so that I can tell everybody I live in a gated community. But that notwithstanding, we bought the house in 2012 as a place to retire to, moved down here full-time in 2015, have maintained the property, paid our taxes, and done all the right things. The house was painted shortly after we bought it. We brought an application before this committee at that time, which was approved. It's a greenish kind of blue right now, and what we're proposing is it's a color that's already part of the suggested colors on the commission's website, and it's a Benjamin Moore HC 159. It's a classic color. We're going to change the trim color from a cream color to a white, which I understand does not require any approval, and hope to get the whole thing done before the frost hits.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
So the shutters kind of look like they're that color now. What do you intend to do with the shutters?
Shutters are black.
They are?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You're going to keep them black then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
What color is the garage door gonna be? It
The
seems
garage
like it's a
door-
light blue.
No, the garage door is white,
Oh,
and it's going to stay
not a
white.
good rendition.
I am not Richard Avedon.
All right, so
We
the
have a
garage door is white.
colorblind committee up here. Sorry about
The
that.
Does
the
this
door
look light blue to you?
It does.
door is white
Quite
with
impressive.
lights at the very top of it, and we are not going to change that at all.
End of story.
Thank you.
Very light black, Cindy.
So it's going to be the dark blue with the white trim and black shutters?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Any questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on the application.
Move to approve application 25-A080.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, as you've heard me say to others, if you'll sign this in case you decide to change or wish to change the color, you'll let us know.
Hard enough to get to this point.
I know, they look like blue to me when I drove by
Looking at
today.
somebody who
They're
ended up
faded
wearing a
black.
blue and black shoe at the same time, so
Oh,
I should never
That was
go
me,
with-
you told me, did I tell you that story?
Well, no, I did that. I did too. Oh, there you go. So neither one of us should
Say
be
what?
judging colors then.
No, you're free to go.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It's gotta be the same as mine.
Thank you.
Here he is. Solar guy.
My story.
No, red and blue would be different. Black and blue.
When you're dressed in the dark, you can't see right.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A081. It's to install 8 solar panels on the front roof at 32 Brush Hill Road. Cynthia Steinmuller is the owner, and Sunrun Installation Services is the agent.
Good evening, Steve Kelly from Sunrun. We're proposing putting 8 black-on-black panels, black frame, black matte finish, in a rectangular array. We have a skirt that goes along the bottom. The house was built in 2003, so the front roof is going to be replaced with a black shingle. We're not able to fully center it on the building. because of a skylight, and there are no plans to remove that right now. But we do have a symmetric array, and we want to leave a little room next to the skylight so someone could work on it. We did move 102 Starbuck to the center.
Is that it, Steve?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Questions or comments from the committee?
Well, you answered my first question, which is about the old gray,
That roof's tired.
which is very tired.
Yeah.
But
That's not in the application, is it?
it's not.
I don't know anything about the roof because it's handled outside of Sunrun. I spoke with the owner tonight, and he said that was part of his bargain with the sales rep. Sunrun has a policy that we have to see a permit and have it inspected before we'll install on it. So whether a approval is actually needed for that, that's something I don't know. But it will, I'm sure if they need it, they'll get it.
So removing the skylight is not an option.
It was not mentioned, and that's usually a hefty
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
cost
There
associated
are
with
other,
it.
I believe, 2 other houses on Brush Hill, probably by the same builder, with the same steeply pitched roof that also have the off-center skylight. So there is another house on Brush Hill, the abutter,
The side.
on the right side that has solar panels on the roof, but that house is oriented totally differently from Brush Hill. So given the pitch of this roof and the orientation of the house, these panels are going to be very visible.
Steve, I have one more question. On this page, the photograph, this photograph and the diagram show the panels in different locations. So the one on the bottom shows them closer to the skylight, which makes them a little bit more centered. The one on the top shows them further to the right. Do you know which location they were planning on?
It would be typically the one that's got the measurements on it. So that, I believe, is PV 2.0. PV 3.0. That shows that it's 6 feet off one gable and 10 foot 8 off the other. The side with the skylight has the additional space.
Yeah,
Want
and
me to come up
right.
and just?
Yeah, and then there's another diagram that shows them in a different layout. So
The one you're
this-
referring to, or this one up, that looks like 10 and 6 right
Yeah,
there.
this is more in giving,
But this one has them in a different configuration.
well,
Where they're-
not to this, if you look at it like this. See the skylight and the
Yep.
10 foot 8 and the 6 foot 1.
Okay. So this shows them closer to the skylight, so it's more this, what they're
This
thinking of?
computer-generated image doesn't quite give it the rectangularness.
Yeah. So it's a little
that-
narrower.
Yeah,
there.
this probably should be brought over a little bit. I would say that that's a little bit off, that it's probably.
Should be a little bit shorter on
There's
this
some
side.
more, these two gotta kinda get together.
Okay.
They said they're gonna change the roof on this,
They're gonna
that's the
change
plan.
roof.
Yeah, it would be a lot less visible with a dark roof.
Yeah, can,
Yes.
can that be stipulated in this application, since it's not included, that the roof be changed to black shingles, Bob?
We can do that.
I'm just curious, does Sunrun have any kind of policy that they won't install solar panels on an old roof that's going to need to be replaced in the short? Is there any kind of policy you guys have with regards to that?
There's probably more policy than they know what to do with. They will claim that an old roof leaks as much as a new roof. Yeah, I see a 3-tab roof and my reaction is to replace it. The house was built in 2003, so that roof has had its day.
Okay.
But there's no stipulation that if we see a 3-tab roof, if we see the old jet roofs that were the 3-foot shingles, they'll put it on that. And
and then they'll pay the consequence. Now, this house happens to have a system on the rear that was installed by Solar City
A while ago.
a while ago. Of course, they were bought out by Tesla.
Other questions or comments from the committee?
I guess my only other comment is the adjacent house at 38 Brush Hill, right next door, has solar panels on the side roof that are visible from the road. They're not facing the road, but they're still visible from the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dead-end street.
Near Route 6.
Questions or comments from the public,
Agree.
especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on the application.
I move to approve application 25-A081,
As amended, ma'am?
as amended,
As it stands.
as amended, with a replacement roof.
With black.
Did anybody second?
Waiting for one.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. So, Steve,
Thank you.
Thank you.
you know what to do. Well, no, you don't have to wait for that.
Oh, thank you.
It's the first time I saw someone put one back.
Oh, I have.
I've not, whenever I was in front of, whenever I came in front of the Old Kings, I was constantly knocking over those things. 'Cause I would- Plans.
23.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve.
Very much.
Thanks. Check remove exterior trim. PVC.
Fine. Thank you.
John doesn't sign it?
You've already got a quorum. He's just,
It's just observing.
he's just convincing. Yeah,
Just kidding.
Here, look cute.
he's got to stay. His wife's over there.
It's what?
He's got to stay. His wife's over there.
Oh. Lexington Avenue. Here's my map here.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A082. It's to replace siding and trim at 84 Mayflower Terrace. Tim Waits is the owner. Project Managers CC LLC is the agent.
Good evening. I'm William Planachek. I own and operate Project Managers, CC LLC, and I'm the contractor. I sit next to Tim Waits. And basically, the project is to remove all four sides of the building, all four sides, and replace it with just all trim, no window replacement, no door replacements, just trim, exterior trim, and to put a certainteed trim, certainteed PVC trim detailed sawmill model T5 around the entire building. As you can see, the sample packet was delivered to you, and it's charcoal. You do have that sampling, correct? Okay.
Pass it around if you would.
Tim is here with me to answer any questions, and we're ready for you.
Mayflower Terrace.
So that's for the siding,
That's correct, ma'am.
right? Because you just mentioned trim, but siding is replaced as well as trim.
The trim is white,
Right.
correct.
And what material is that?
Also an ASAC, a
Oh, it's
PVC
ASAC.
product, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's the color that you're proposing? That's the color
That's
The light
called
gray that
charcoal.
you're proposing.
Charcoal gray.
Charcoal? Charcoal.
I believe the one that says charcoal.
No, but it looks like a
Is
light
that
gray.
this, maybe it's this darker one?
This is a different one. That's for a different application.
Okay.
The abutting house has a sterling color, same product. It's the same, PVC exterior trim and that product, but it's in a sterling gray. They chose charcoal gray.
Okay.
Is this the colour of your neighbour's house, Tim?
So I can't see it from here.
Sorry.
Yes, it is, sir.
Yeah, is the charcoal's on the other side, right?
Yes, but that's your neighbor's color.
Yeah.
Where's the charcoal?
So where is the charcoal? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Opens up.
The top flap?
oh, up here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Charcoal gray?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, did you see that, Cindy and Paula?
No, I didn't.
Charcoal gray. I love that neighbor.
It looks very similar to the aged cedar shakes that are there now in color, right?
It's hard
Those
to
shakes you're
distinguish.
getting
Yeah, it's hard
old
to.
looking, huh?
Oh my God, they're forever old.
Questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve application 25-A082.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, you'll sign this before you leave, in case you decide to change the color or materials.
It's a nice neighborhood. I like the pond access there.
Thank you. Good luck with it.
It's nice. Do you have a dock there at your house? Nice.
Yeah, no, we love that.
So beautiful up there.
We were very fortunate, and we bought 12 years ago, so we're going to retire there.
Nice.
That's the plan.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Such a great
Good night.
funky little neighborhood, you know?
Yeah, we built it in the 50s.
I love it.
Cheers, Tim.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A083. It's to install a fence at 15 Jared Lane. Kendra Hackett and Nick, gonna have to help me here.
Give it a shot. Come on.
Mastro Giacomo.
You're not Italian, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, are the owners. All Cape Fence is the agent. So, tell us.
I'm Kendra Hackett. This is my husband, Nick Mastrogiacomo. We bought 15 Jared Lane in November, and we would like to install a privacy fence. On the right-hand side of the property, there's already a stockade fence, and it would be on the left-hand side, facing the front of the house, that we would like to put this stockade fence, as well as closing off the front sections. And just most recently, with the application that we've put in, we are on conservation in the backyard. So the Conservation Commission has asked us to we have to have a study done to see where the migration point ends. I know.
Migration of what?
Yeah.
Piping plovers?
It's all, so it's actually the migration line, I looked at the original plans from 1982 when the house was built, and it's actually, I think it's just closing in on us.
Migration of planting, you mean?
I guess.
Oh,
And they want us to, so this is not in the package, but they want us to put an aluminum fence for a portion, like, so if this is the water is behind us, we have it's like a swampy area, marshland behind us. They want us to put aluminum fence so wildlife can get through it for a certain portion coming off of the water. So you still won't be able to see it from
Can you, I'm just curious, could you show us what you're talking about?
So this is the back of the house. We have a marshland swamp, I call it swamp, right here, and they want us to put aluminum fence for, it could be up to, we have to have the study done, but it could be up to 35 feet. So it would be, so wildlife could get through.
What
does it look like, the aluminum fence?
It's right here. It's
Yeah, I just have,
it's this.
there you go.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Oh,
I got one. Thank you.
deer is not getting through that.
No, there is not gonna be that.
They can probably jump it. Is it 6 feet? Deer can jump 6 feet. No problem.
More, I guess, for bunnies and.
Yeah, like a bunny running from a coyote.
We can still get through in the back. We're not obviously closing off the back because it's all open.
So where you're putting a fence, they want it to be aluminum.
Trying to get through there, would you?
Just for a certain portion of it.
It's nice.
So that would be not visible from the road behind the house?
Visible from the road, it would be just, do you have the map?
You said pretty back from the road anyway, right?
It is, yeah. It
30
would-
feet, maybe more?
It would be like, if this is the front of the house.
Right.
You wouldn't, it would be like here.
And there's a lot of
Here
plantings
to-
too, aren't there, back there?
Yeah, there are. It would just
And
be
is
that
would the
section.
gate be in the wooden part or the aluminum part?
The gate?
Yeah.
Well, we initially were probably not gonna do the gate now.
Because that's where the aluminum has to go.
Probably, yeah.
Don't you love it?
We'll probably do it closer to here.
Interesting.
But you can't see any of that from the street.
Right. Thank you.
Questions or comments from the committee?
Do we have to have knowledge of the final decision by conservation before we can proceed, or can we proceed?
Right. They'll take care of that.
Very good.
But we would have to make that an amendment, right? Because it wasn't,
For the aluminum
yeah,
fence?
it's not in the original application.
Okay. Any comments or questions from abutters or other interested members of the public? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on the application.
I move to approve application 25-A083 as amended with a 35-foot section of aluminum fencing.
Second,
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval as amended signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, if one of you would kindly sign this document, in case you want to make any changes, you'll let us know.
So don't you just love the Italian names? I was in Italy, and like, if you could do 2 syllables, everything's 6. They just have to add extra syllables.
That's why I didn't take his last name, it's too complicated.
That's fine. I can date it. Okay. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A084 to paint shutters and front door, replace window, and replace siding at 15 Barnacle Road. Nicholas and Tamara Papakriskos are the owners.
Good evening. I'm Nick Papakrikos, my wife Tamara, and as it states, we're looking to replace those three items. We're filing a permit to add an addition to the back of the house. So, and the house has the original siding, and it's pretty beaten, and it's the appropriate time to change the siding to the house all around. And the existing bay window is original, and it has all moss, and it's just very difficult to maintain, and we'd like to change it to a bay window, to a bow window. And that's really it. The sample, again, at
It's right here.
charcoal
Yep.
is the color of the night, I guess. So, and we're looking to change the color of the shutters to go with the siding.
So what was the color of the shutters? Is it this,
They're like,
this chip that you have in here? Is this the color, this sort of a light blue color?
they're like, yeah.
Because now they're sort of a dark blue, darker blue.
Now they're darker, yeah.
So you want them lighter to complement the darker gray siding. Okay, thank you. And white
White trim.
Yeah.
trim. So you didn't include a picture of the bow window. Is that just rounded rather
There's a
than?
picture of the bow window.
Is that this right here?
Is this it right here?
I think it's this.
That's existing. That's existing bay window, right?
No, it has,
Not, it comes out. You see how the roof comes down?
Doesn't it do that now?
there's a picture of the house.
Photographs
Should
haven't
be a
been
picture
great
of the house
tonight.
right in the
Yeah, it's a different,
front part of the house that should be in there.
it's a pretty shallow bay, so it's hard to tell the difference, but.
Okay. Oh, I see, so it's gonna have. So will the new bow window, will that have grids in the windows, grills?
No,
Because the existing one does, right?
yes.
Yes.
What about so in the 4 sections will all be open, no grills?
That's what we planned, yeah.
Yes, correct.
Driven around the neighborhood, and there's a lot of houses that are just plain glass, so.
So the lack of grills is a change from what's there now.
Existing, correct.
Any other windows on the house that have no grills?
Not in the front of the house, no.
But the windows we're putting into the addition will not have grills.
Right, the existing kitchen window that looks over the backyard does not have a grill.
And you know there's other houses on the street that have windows without grills?
Yeah, diagonally from us there is has no.
I didn't pay attention to that when I was there.
I personally like that the window is being treated differently because for some reason it's, you may even want to consider eliminating the shutters on the bow. My feeling is a shutter, even though they're not practical anymore, they're meant to cover a window. There's no way that shutters can cover a bow window or a bay, but that's just my personal opinion.
There'll be shutters. They're just won't.
Yeah, okay.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve application 25-8 A084.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
And aye. So don't forget to sign the document before you leave. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's okay.
Oh, my
That's a
heavens.
requirement.
Yeah.
Mine are next.
A night is ruined.
Okay, good.
Should be taped down.
So good luck with it.
Thank you.
night.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This guy's on.
We're safe at the moment. Ordnance in the air.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Little scrap.
I don't know what it was.
Thank you.
He was so soft-spoken here.
Those people who park at this parking space is writing that.
On here, sorry.
That's, never mind. It's not that important. It's not important at all, actually.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A085. It's to paint the entry doors at 947 Route 6A. Stephen and Freeman Winslow are the owners. E.F. Winslow Home Services is the agent.
I'm here. I'm participating via Zoom.
Great.
My name is Mac Foster. I'm a project manager and construction supervisor for EF Winslow Home Services. And what we're proposing to do is to repaint the entry doors on all elevations. And we're going to be using a historical color that's approved by Old Kings Highway. The samples have been submitted with the application.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments from the committee?
Is that the same color as your signage, is your new signage?
No.
No?
No, I'm not sure what the color of the signage
Okay.
is. We went with the historical color that will complement the white trim, black shutters, and the gray clapboard.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve application 25-A086.
85?
Oh, sorry, 85 even.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you, you too.
He did my work.
Yeah.
Tom's Moya. I know you.
Yes, you do. Hi, Paula.
And Tom, we've never met,
Yes, I
but
did, yeah, well, I gave.
I do remember you.
It wasn't difficult. Be a certain age, remember that? Great job, though.
Last item on the application is 25-A086. It's to construct a new single-family dwelling at 17 Ridge Drive. Michael Walter is the owner. Thomas Moore Home Design Company is the agent.
Good evening, Thomas Moore from Moore Home Design Company. We're looking to do a single-family home on this property. It's kind of a sloping lot, so this house is going to be perched right up on the top of it with kind of the basement of it, walk-in, going to be as a workshop. A couple of changes to the application. As far as in the application, it was submitted to be vinyl siding, board and batten siding. The homeowner saw a sample of it and didn't like it. So what he's looking to get approval for is a board and batten siding that's pine board and batten. So the battens would be 8 inches on center, roughly what this is. This is the color that he would like to see also. I got a sample here. I can bring this up to you if you'd like to get a closer look at it.
Like a taupe, sort of?
I believe they call it a chart.
Oh, okay.
How far apart are the battens from one another?
8 inches.
You said that, 8 inches, so that's about that much.
Yeah. Another, in the windows, he had, in the application, they were spec'd as white. He'd like to put black windows versus the white windows.
Oh, I'm sorry, you wrote it, never mind.
And the only other change that he was looking for a little bit more of an overhang, on the eaves instead of the 8 inches that's shown. Looking to more like a 12-inch overhang. Yeah.
Gable end?
No, at the eave line.
It's not the right.
So where your fascia line is, where your fascia board is.
So overhanging the side.
Just a little bit more than what's shown on the elevations there. With that, we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
So I'm a neighbor. I live kind of next door to them in the greenhouse that they live in now, except there's.
Yep.
And so I have a it's an adjustment because this is going to make a change in the neighborhood, obviously, particularly with the grading. So you know where they park their white car? It's very close to the neighbor's driveway?
Yes.
Is that where the driveway is going to be?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how is that white wall on the left that's currently to the right of their present driveway? How's that going to be affected with the moving of the grades? Do you know?
On their property next door?
Yeah.
No, it won't be affected at all.
Have they considered using shingles? I understand that the existing house is board and batten or something like it. It just seems awfully kind of old, I guess I would say. Maybe the scale seems quite overwhelming to me for the scale of the building and also the neighborhood. So I don't know how anyone else feels, but other than that, I guess I'm fine with it. I should almost abstain because it affects me so much every day. But
I'll listen to the rest of the board, then I can maybe address
Okay,
your
thank you.
siding issue.
Thanks.
So this is not a spec house, it's a owner that's building it?
Correct.
Because it's
Yeah.
unusual to have a one-bedroom house.
Yes, it is, yeah.
I think they have a lot of.
It might, I'm not sure the reason for that is they don't need any more than that, so for one, and there may be a restriction because of the lot. I'm not sure about that, septic-wise.
Setback.
But
I mean, I'm not a fan of board and batten, but they're the house next door. Is that the house next door, the board and batten is where they're living now? Is that right?
It's this little, seems like a little small, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
It seems like a smaller scale to me, that the battens might not be as big and the spacing might not be as much, do you know?
the ones next door,
Their house, yes, that they live in.
I'm not sure of that one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on this application.
Well, I move to approve application 25-A086.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Can I just ask a
Aye.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, actually, let me say as amended, because we have some amendments to include. Let me mention what the amendments are, just so we're all clear. Amendments are the windows are going to be black rather than white. That was in the application. The siding to be pine, board and batten, as opposed to PVC, and the overhang to be extended. And I didn't get the distance, how far it's being extended.
12 inches at
12
minimum.
inches. Those are the amendments to the original application. So as amended, I approve. Thank you.
Did you wish to add something?
Yeah, I just want to know if they would reconsider the siding, and I'm not going to hold up the application.
I
but
can certainly ask him in that, and
That's how I
if he
feel.
did, if he did decide to change, we could
Yeah.
put in an amendment.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Do I hear a motion?
I think I made a motion to approve as amended.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval as amended signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
And aye.
Thank you.
Sir? Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Two. Who are they? Do we have them? Yes, they're come over. This is gonna take tired?
You picked a good night.
Think so. Not very efficient. I've learned so
You have
much.
stamina.
This should be required participation for a local history class in the high school. Really.
Smashing property, isn't it?
6 every morning.
Okay, so we have an informal review item on the agenda tonight, being presented by Jonathan Prophet, and it is with regard to 404 Route 6A. So,
Sure, thank you. So I'm Jonathan Prophet.
Christine Prophet.
And we are selling our home in Central Mass. We live in Westboro, and we did look at the house at 404, and we think it's a fabulous house, but it wouldn't quite work for our, for our retirement, if you will, future home. And we wanted to talk to the committee about, what we would want to be able to do to support our life going forward, and if it works for the committee, and get your opinion on what we're thinking. And if it doesn't work, we completely understand that. It just wouldn't be the right house for us then. So I want to thank Mr. Grady for sharing some
Great
really,
information.
great information with us. That was really interesting, and thank you for doing so. Right now, the back of the house has what appears to be 3 additions, and all the floors have different levels. And as I said, this is this is going to be our home into retirement. Having different levels like that isn't great, and just quite frankly, the layout and the way the house would work. So we would want to put a rear L on the house. We would, as someone who's we've restored a couple homes. I'm not sure if you're able to look at the note that we sent, but we did live in a historic home before. We appreciate we appreciate what they are, and would incorporate any materials if we were to remove any parts of the house. And we know we're not, we don't have plans. We don't have any plan to show you anything, but we really just want to talk conceptually on your thoughts around that and whether or not it would work, and that would allow us to consider moving forward on the house. So, anything to add, Chris?
No, I think that pretty much covers it, and appreciate
You
the
say
time.
you already bought the house? or
No,
you're
no, no,
planning
we have
to?
not.
We wouldn't be
Based on
able
what
to
you
do
could do
that.
with it.
Correct.
Correct. Based on what we could do,
Exactly.
it would.
In a pickle, right? We can't move forward with a formal.
This is the way it should go
Yeah, you're
all the
smart
time.
to do it this way.
Yeah, we appreciate this very
Okay.
much.
Again, we've had, our last 2 homes ago was a historic home in the National Historic Register, and we understand and value what you folks are trying to do and maintain the district and what the house stands for.
Okay. So what would you like from us specifically?
Well, do you typically allow, and again, this is obviously an informal discussion. You don't have any plans in front of you, but if we were to come at some point in time with the idea of putting a rear L on the back, we would have it designed by an architect so it wouldn't overpower the front part of the house. We would incorporate as much as possible of what's behind the house. Through Mr. Grady, was the rope part, was that the very back L? I wasn't
That's the
quite sure.
side.
That's almost an appendage to the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That
it's-
little
Feels
part on
like
the
it
back?
too. It is
Yeah.
very
When
different.
you come in from the driveway, you go into the oldest part of the house.
Right.
And to the left of that is where the rope walk is.
Yeah.
Or the part of the rope walk. The rope walk was 3 miles long or whatever.
Yeah.
But, that kind of stands alone, but it's attached to the house.
Yeah.
And if you look through the entry from the driveway, there's a kitchen there. And that kitchen is probably not part of the original house.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it from the rear, you can see the roof line is different,
Right.
the siding is different.
Right.
So there was a marriage there at some point in time, after 1790, if you will. But nobody knows when. That covers a lot of ground.
Sure.
So I think from a historic perspective, the parts of the house that are probably most sensitive are the 1790 that was floated over from Duxbury or Plymouth, supposedly. Who knows? But it got here. And the oldest part, which was, I think, 1740-ish, which is very small. And it's a very nice room. It's got a lot of character. And the piece from the rope walk, which is an appendage. So I think, where the kitchen is and to the rear of the house, there's a lot of room for expansion. And actually, the grade drops off too, which is very helpful when you're building an L if you want to get 2 or 3 stories in.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I think it, the house lends itself to what you'd like to do, but without plans,
Right.
you don't know if you can do it, and we don't know if you can do it.
Sure, no, that's fine, but it's really about how the committee thinks about these types of
Yeah,
projects.
conceptually.
So,
And we don't really have any jurisdiction over what you do on the inside.
sure.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah.
We wouldn't be happy if you tore out the original part of the house and the fireplace.
Yeah, no, I
But
mean,
we
the
don't have any
original,
jurisdiction over it.
the original part of the house, the fireplace appeared to me, they have the woodwork around the fireplace and the inside has certainly been changed. It's not the original. You can see it. It's, I suppose it's nice, but if you look at the picture, it's clearly not the original.
It's old, but not as old.
What's sort of interesting is the only real basement in the house is under what now we've learned is the oldest part of the house. So it's funny, the rest of the part doesn't have the basement, it's the oldest part that does.
Well,
I mean,
that's the way they built them. We live up the street at four, what number are we at? Thank you.
That's our number.
And, we have a very small basement, which is big enough for a boiler and a hot water heater, and that's about it.
and when this same oldest part of the house appears, and this is at a very, very quick look, no extermination inspection or anything, to have a fair amount of rot and/or decay on the beams. I don't know if it's powder post, didn't appear to be termites, maybe powder post,
Beetles.
or just age, quite frankly, right? So, would probably need some level of renovation, but I suspect all the houses along that road probably do at some point or another, right? That's the nature of an old home, as we all know.
Outer post beetles are included.
Yeah, they come with it, yeah, I'm sure they do.
So sorry, go ahead.
I lived in the 240 Main Street, right on the corner of Thatcher for 20 years, and we had a few of those little round cellars, and had to go down on the ladder and turn the water on and off for the washing machine in the winter, otherwise the pipes would freeze. But, the house is basically kind of a wreck, but still standing. And of course, always there were additions added to these houses, so
Right.
it's not unusual, as you know, as we know.
I'm
So-
trying to, go ahead. I'm trying to understand which portion you're thinking about removing. So when you walk in from the driveway, is it behind that what was like a bedroom that Joel uses as a bedroom? And I'm just trying to understand which part, because here's my concern is that, yes, maybe a portion was added on, but back in those days, they would move a house from somewhere else. So the part that was added on may have been earlier than the 1790 house. So I think we would need to evaluate it to see the age of it.
No, that makes sense. So if you think about what you see from the street, the main block, right?
Right.
That
That would
wouldn't
remain,
touch,
obviously.
For
yeah.
sure. That would certainly not be touched. As you move toward the back, if you're looking from the street toward the house, the left-hand part is now, Mr. Grady suggests, is the oldest part of the house. So I said, that you'd probably have to maintain as much of that as possible in order to sort of maintain the historical integrity of the home. What's to the right of that, if you will, which is the kitchen area, some of the center part, where you have almost like a
Step
salt
down.
box roof, you step down into
That's
it.
You can see
awkward.
the roof line
That's
gives
right.
it
Yes.
away, and the siding
Yes.
gives it away too, because the siding is different.
Yes.
Right, so that's right, it is.
Yeah.
So that part of the house probably would be part that we'd look to not keep. Incorporate anything that's, any of the good floorboards, you want to salvage all that, any good beams, but that part of the house. And then what is now the rope walk part, it's sort of awkwardly attached, so maybe you can incorporate that somewhere in the back as a
very
rear
cool.
entry or something, I don't know.
You could use it as a utility room or
Yeah.
an exercise room or.
Yeah,
Right.
very low ceilings, but it's
Yeah,
very
very
quaint.
low
It's
ceilings, it's a different floor level, so trying to incorporate that part of the structure somewhere sounds like it would be important.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So, as a general statement, or maybe a series of general statements, this is a highly significant house, and I'm excited about your interest in owning it because you seem like just the right people to own the house. So we are very sensitive to that house in particular and its history in consideration of its location in the heart of the historic district in Yarmouthport. But primarily our purview focuses on streetscape and your assertion that you intend to keep the principal block, I believe is the term you used, of the 1790 portion of the house intact is comforting to me personally, and I think to this committee as a whole. And a statement was made by a former committee member that people have to live in the houses, and houses are organic. So I think as you've presented it, without knowing the specifics, of course, I can't say categorically that this will be fine, but it sounds good to me. Sounds like you're approaching it from the right perspective and from the right level of experience and the right level of sensitivity for what it is that you're contemplating buying. That's probably sufficiently vague to allow myself wiggle room on this issue.
Recording everything, Chairman.
Okay, that's fine. I think it shows a lot of promise, is what I'll say.
We want to thank you for your time this evening. I know it's late, and, we appreciate it.
It's very helpful. Thank you.
We have an abutter or an interested member of the public who wishes
One shot.
who wishes to address us.
Thanks. Lisa Grady, excuse me, 415 Route 6A.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share something, and I'm glad you're here in person to do this instead of trying to do it via Zoom. There's another story that passes on. with
Elisa,
this
did
house.
you identify yourself?
I did.
Oh, thank you. I didn't hear it. Sorry.
It's okay. There's another story that passes on with this house, and that's the story of our friend Joel Chasen, past president of the Historical Society of Old Yarmouth, excuse my voice tonight, who, along with his wife Sally, gave back to our village in their time, energy, and commitment to preservation. His courtyard and living room were the gathering place for neighbors and friends, whether to raise a glass or raise hell for a cause. He was the first person to reach out to a newcomer and weave them into the community. These are big slippers to fill, and we would welcome new stewards to cherish this house as he did. And by taking the first step to talk to the Old Kings Highway, you're giving us all hope. What is not mentioned on the listing sheet is that included in the sale are surrounding neighbors who care deeply about the history of our homes and village. And should you be the buyers, I know Joel will be whispering in my ear and reminding me, don't forget to let them know as new owners, they get a free year membership in the Historical Society. So, thank you.
And I did do a little research on Mr. Chasen, and he obviously was very civically minded with the church and the Historic Society and other organizations. He clearly was someone who was part of the neighborhood, part of the fabric. So we appreciate it if we do pursue this, being able to fill, or not filling his shoes, but maybe following in his footsteps. So.
Is there any other input you'd like from this committee?
I think we received the information that
Yeah, I
we were.
think this is perfect, and that's exactly what we're hoping for, just to get a sense of
Yeah.
how you sort of think about these things. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
We appreciate
it.
Bring your first rendition and we'll talk more.
Yeah, no, we get that. Yeah, and we know you need to see that, right? We know you need to see that, so, thank you. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming.
So where are you in Westboro?
We're right on, if you look at a map where Westboro,
Upton,
Hopkinton
Hopkinton.
touch, literally where they touch, we live there, we sold our house. We're closing on July 11th, and we're a little freaked out because we don't have a house right now. We did rent a house temporarily, though.
Yeah.
But for a couple of different reasons, the closing came quicker. We ended up, we didn't think it was gonna go through, and our kids graduated from college, so we were on a vacation, and all of a sudden, we got like 20 days to move.
Yeah.
So, pretty nerve-wracking, but that's all right,
So you're closing on this house on July 11th?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
No, not.
When they sold.
No, the one we
That we
sold.
currently live in.
That
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We did that. I was 7 weeks homeless.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what we're gonna, does anyone have a couch?
Yeah.
We're almost there, so.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Good night.
So, thank you.
Okay, we need to approve the minutes of the June 9th hearing. Do I hear a motion there, too?
I move to approve the minutes of the June 9th meeting. Good job, Lisa.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. The next meeting is July 14th, 2025, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Looks just like you.
Move to adjourn.
To adjourn.
Sorry.
All right, it's been moved. One of you can second it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And aye, we are adjourned.
And that's